I'm 6 months into my Etsy shop and I would say I finally had a breakthrough. So in today's video, I want to go through all my stats and show you what my 6 months on Etsy looked like, and then also compare those stats with the previous 5 months to give you a little bit of an overview and also show you the growth in my Etsy shop. I'm here to tell you, don't give up on your Etsy shop. It is such a crazy journey, I have to say, like lots of ups and downs, but I feel like we need to persevere to actually succeed with our Etsy shops. You know, I feel sometimes very impatient. I want to make a lot of sales and succeed tomorrow, and then I want to come here and show you and say like, look, every day looks amazing, I make so many sales. But the reality sometimes looks a little bit different, and it doesn't have to be the opposite of pure failure and no sales. So on my YouTube channel, I want to show you how I grow my Etsy shop, what it looks like, and also that you can succeed with perseverance and patience. I want to believe in overnight success, but that is so rare that we should not orientate ourselves and, you know, our success on these overnight successes. I rather work and improve every day and then see the results and see growth and see success, but it's kind of slow success. I definitely don't want to give up at all, but you know, there are days where I have my doubts and I'm like, is it even working? You know, am I growing? Is it really worth all my time spending on Etsy? But so far, I still would say it is worth it, and I want to show you on my YouTube channel. If you're new to Etsy, or basically you just want to sign up for Etsy and start your shop, make sure to grab my link down in the description below with 40 free listings, because then you basically don't pay for your first 40 products on Etsy. And if you need any digital product ideas, I have another link in my description where you can basically find 50 digital product ideas. So before we start to dive into my numbers, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video, because I want to reach people who understand that success is not overnight and who want to work hard and persevere and be patient. Okay, let's get started. So I started my Etsy shop on the 1st of May 2023, and now in my video I want to present you October 2023. Yes, I delayed a little bit my stats just to see if it's working, and I want to confidently present you with some numbers, you know, and that it is possible to grow and it is working for me right now, and I will just continue to present you every month and talk about my numbers. So actually, let's hop over to Etsy and I will show you all my stats. So here you can see 1st of October until 31st of October, visits were 8,579, which is so much higher. I think it almost tripled from the last month. I will show you an overview in a second where I show you all the previous 6 months. But yeah, it has really picked up. And the reason really was Pinterest. I talked about this in my last video. A pin on Pinterest went viral, and that brought me a lot of traffic. When I scroll down here, where you can see where the traffic was coming from, it also changed quite a bit. So Etsy brought 32 and I brought 68, which when we look at social media, you can see 3,935, and that's pretty much Pinterest, like none of the other social media channels. It is just Pinterest, and almost 4,000, so almost half of that traffic comes from Pinterest. And then we have a bit of Etsy ads here, direct traffic, which I mentioned before. Sometimes direct traffic or other traffic could also be social media like Pinterest. It just tracks it a little bit different. So yeah, coming back up here to the overview, I received 252 orders, and you can see there is not a single day where I had 0 orders, which is kind of the first month. So every day I got an order, and I think the lowest is here, October 14th, 15th with 3 orders. And then the highest was 14 orders 2 days in a row. So that's pretty cool. My conversion rate is 2.9, which is actually much lower than the previous month. And I think that again comes from Pinterest. A lot of traffic comes and not everyone is converting. Although my sales increased and, you know, people are buying from my shop. Like there is still a bigger percentage of visitors and like a lower percentage of people who actually buy. And that's why my conversion rate is lower than the previous months. But I don't want to complain because, you know, it was still my best month so far. Then revenue. I live in Sweden, so I'm in Europe, based in Europe. And in Sweden, you have Swedish krona. So that's what you see here. It looks like a lot, which is great. But actually, it is about $990. So I made $990 that month, 10,311 krona. And you can see my highest day was 819 Swedish krona, which is probably about $80, between $75 and $80. So that's not too bad. Obviously, how I see it sometimes is I'm creating the product and then the product is just on Etsy and I don't have to do anything anymore. So it feels like, oh, I almost did nothing on that day and made that money. So yeah, that's the overview. And again, here you have an overview of where the traffic is coming from. Of course, what is really good is like if you do bring traffic from somewhere else, like social media, like Pinterest, Etsy noticed that something has changed and they do push out your listing, your product organically as well. So then other people on Etsy also see your product and buy it. So there is a mix of then social media, Pinterest, and organic sales from Etsy. So I did run some ads. Let's jump quickly to my ads dashboard. So here we have Etsy ads performance from October. You can see basically here is the 1st of October until, yeah, almost the 31st. And I got 129 clicks and 10 orders. And the good thing is I basically spent less than what I made. So I spent $33, almost $34, and I made almost double. So that worked out for me. You can see that I normally stick to $1 per day, and then I had 3 days where I increased it a little bit, and then normally I just stick to $1 per day. I have made a video about Etsy ads as well. Until October, I think I was really happy with it. I didn't really increase it, and the reason is my products are very low priced. So for me, it's still to that point, it didn't make sense to really increase my ad budget. It just didn't work for me. I felt most comfortable just sticking to $1 or $2 a day. And then in the next months, you will see a little bit of a shift, and it was very surprising to me. But ads don't work all the time, and we will explore that a little bit more in my next video. My next month 7, where I will show you a little bit the shift in Etsy ads performance. But yeah, that was in October now, and I was happy with it, and it was working for me. And here you have an overview of all my months so far. So I'm 6 months into Etsy. You can see a little bit of a difference. So let's start with the visits. They were increasing each month, but then you can see in September it was 3,345 visits. And then this month in October 2023, it was 8,579. So more than double, like almost triple the visits, and they came from Pinterest, as I mentioned. Then orders also really increased. So 136 more than the previous months, which also means like more than double the orders. But then my conversion rate decreased a little bit. Ad spend almost the same, a little bit less. And revenue was $990, as I mentioned before. And that was actually more than $500 before. So a little bit more than double of what I made in September. In profit, you can see, you know, you have the Etsy fees and all these kind of things like your ad spend, and I made $706. Well, that reached my bank account basically. That was the profit. Obviously, you also have to pay some taxes in your country, but let's concentrate. This is what I got in my account, my bank account, and that was also 397 more than the previous month. So, you know, that's extra cash you have, which is really, really cool. It is definitely my best month so far. It looks like a really, really slow growth to me, you know, but I'm still very happy. And obviously each month I want to increase my revenue and my profit, and that's happening at the moment. So I'm excited to show and share with you more details of my Etsy shop, and I would call it my Etsy success. So even if I don't grow every month, I learn from it every month, and I'm trying to improve, and I hope I can obviously give you as much detail as possible so you can learn from my successes and from my failures. So this was my 6 months on Etsy. You can see there was such a difference to the previous month. My Etsy shop is growing, and my month 6 was not my best month so far. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe to my channel to see the next month of Etsy success. I see you soon. Bye!